Hello, my friends. I am Collrane, and my pronouns are they, them. I am an intuitive energy arts healer, and what I'm going to be doing for you today as your reader is helping you to dive into the shadow side, or what some might consider the underworld. At the time that I'm filming this is a timeless reading, of course. Whenever you find it, you are meant to continue your shadow work by connecting with this reading. But at the time that I'm filming this, we are about to go into the Celtic holiday of Samhain, and Samhain is the pre-Christianized holiday that we now know of as Halloween. They're not the exact same holiday, of course, because they're emergings of different cultures to bring about the modern day practices of Halloween, but there are many different holidays around this time, not just Samhain, from many different cultures all over the world that celebrate death and celebrate our connection between life and death. And so these holidays are sometimes shown as the time of year, especially in the northern hemisphere, where we're seeing fall into winter, and there have been celebrations around this time period to show the veil between the spirit world and the physical world becoming very thin, and so we can contact and communicate with the spirit realm much easier, but also we can receive their messages if our spirit guides or passed on loved ones, ancestors, want to reach out and help to bring us through this transition season. So that's basically my intention, is that I want to help you to channel any messages that are going to be helpful for you as you are maybe experiencing some shadow energy in your life at this time, because at different points in our lives we all have those experiences of transition, or maybe even going through the wonder world is what I almost wanted to call it, but I mean the underworld, this place of understanding the deeper aspects of humanity so that we may begin to heal some of these things that have been rejected or been forgotten by a lot of humanity. So I'm going to introduce the piles, and of course then we're going to get into the messages. They're already starting to flow through at this time. So here's pile 1 with this flower agate obelisk, and I'm going to make the lighting better for the actual readings. I just realized I didn't turn it on, but hopefully you can see. This is pile 2 with the angelite kind of sphere, or almost like an egg. And pile 3 with this freeform green banded onyx. So when you're ready, get into that meditative state and prepare yourself for your reading. I will see you there. Hello, group 1. If you selected this flower agate tower, this is your underworld reading. So hopefully the lighting has been fixed or adjusted more to hopefully your liking. I didn't realize during the intro I didn't have the lighting on, so hopefully this is better. For your pile, I just felt an immediate throat activation, so much so that I need to drink some tea. So sorry about that. Hopefully maybe you had a chance to take a little tea break there too. There's something here about your group. It's almost like your life has kind of shut off for whatever this shadow work is. I'm just getting the sense that there is a real need to sit and rebalance your life. And it's funny because this crystal and I have a very interesting relationship. It came into my life where I was at a strong turning point, and when I received this crystal, I sat down with it, and I usually don't pull cards to introduce myself to a crystal's energy. Sometimes, but it's very rare, and it's not a typical practice for me, but I was feeling very drawn to pull a card for this particular crystal. And it gave me the Justice card, and it was almost an image that looked like the goddess Hecate to me, but it was on this Justice card a feminine figure, almost like a femme fatale type figure, and this person, this figure was not necessarily like defined by the gendered representation, but I just want to give you some kind of indication of that visualization of the energy. And they're leaning over with this sword, a very strong sword, and I believe that there were dogs on either side, like strong, like wolf figures. So there was something wild, and that's why I said femme fatale. There was just this very strong energy about this figure on the card, and so this this crystal was reminding me of that energy to just show that right now something is coming full circle in your life, is the phrase that I was hearing. And it's almost like I'm feeling a mixture of hot and cold all over my body. So I don't know if some of you have been doing health related treatments that are temperature or thermal based. And yeah, your guides are really wanting to show that whatever you've been doing for yourself is helping you to find balance, not just physically, but also spiritually and emotionally. So if you are feeling like you've been experiencing a lot of health things, know that your guides are wanting to help you to recognize that this is something that does have at least partially a spiritual root. Not all health problems do stem from our spiritual or emotional health, but there is some link there that I think that they're wanting you to explore. So let's get into your cards. I have them pre-pulled, and I do have a deck set to the side that I'm going to use to spontaneously pull some cards for you at a later moment. But let's get into the first cards, which is from the Guiding Light Tarot, and these are going to describe pretty much what's going on for you as you've entered into the underworld. So I'm just setting the intention that every single person who comes to this reading and resonates with at least one aspect is going to have some experience of going through an underworld or going into the shadow. So pile one, let's get into your tarot. 8 of Swords and 7 of Swords. It's interesting because I have used this deck quite a few times, and so for the likelihood for a progression of cards to be included in this is somewhat rare. And I'm actually going to reorder them so that it goes 7 to 8 because I am feeling that indication from your guidance. The 7 of Swords shows us an experience of, I feel in this case I'm hearing self-betrayal. So there's something where your beliefs or attitude towards yourself are actually turning into something where you're attacking yourself somewhat, or causing yourself wounding. And I don't want to trigger anyone needlessly, so I just do want to say that there is a trigger warning here about self-harm. And if you are experiencing any kind of negativity that's been turned inwards, I just want to take a moment to send you some healing energy towards those parts of yourself that have turned against yourself, and help you to have that seed of finding peace within that self-inflicted violence. So there's also just an energy. I've had this reading interrupted a couple times, and usually that doesn't happen for me when I'm channeling, so I'm feeling like it is connected to the reading itself. It feels like, again, with that energy of sabotage, there's this energy of allowing the people around you to impose energy onto you, and that's maybe part of that self-inflicted feeling. So this journey through the underworld for you is really to help you to find a grounded sense of self-understanding and self-compassion, based on only your experience with yourself and not based on energy that you're relying on from those outside of you, or not prioritizing others' opinions of you over your opinion of yourself. So the 8 of Swords is also showing me that this is talking about things that are beliefs within the mind. 8s can be very internal. They can talk about the eternal experience of self and other, that 8, that reciprocal energy, that karmic energy. So there may be certain things here too where I'm being drawn to, if you've had past lives where maybe you used your words in a certain way to impose harm on others, or There may have been, like, in your childhood, certain experiences with, like, verbal attacks between you and other people, whether you were the one imposing them or receiving it. There's some kind of experiencing energy back and being able to make that energy right and find that root of the balance that can be found between you and yourself within that anger, that frustration, as well. Because the swords energy here can be talking about being in the mind, the communication, the words between you and another person. And for some reason, I was drawn to fire energy with this Eight of Swords. I almost thought it was the Eight of Wands at one point. So there's something here that your guides are trying to show me about them trying to bring in communication to you to help you to correct these mistakes from their higher perspective. So yeah, that's a beautiful energy. Let's get into the shadow attributes that you have been going after in the spirit realm, or this can even be in the dream realm for you, since I said it in that way, in that underworld energy. And these are going to be the energies that you're most at play of addressing. So I'm not surprised to see here the energy of speaking. Hopefully I can show you this. It says honesty. With the tongue, one can destroy the town and save the town. Control the tongue. Some of you, I'm feeling like you've been very harsh with your words throughout your life, especially if you're an older person. This may be something that was a pattern you didn't even realize was causing you suffering, and also maybe even causing suffering to the others around you. For a lot of you, this is going to be an ancestral pattern as well, because I'm feeling for a lot of you there may have been a grandmother with a very harsh tongue who wants to come through and allow you to heal from those harsh words that were said to you as a young child. For some of you, this is going to be even an older masculine figure, such as a father or an uncle, who was quite they're wanting me to use the word belligerent with some of you, just making you experience things that weren't even tied to you, but as a child you internalized that and turned it towards yourself as being that there was something wrong with you, or that you were just irritating, and so that caused you to take on their anger. So interesting. Honesty, being honest with yourself about your own shortcomings, but not taking that on. So moving forward into your adult life, it does feel like there's a lot of things that you carry with yourself that you're afraid to be honest with yourself, and give yourself the grace of taking accountability. So for some of you, it's almost like you've repressed certain things that feel like they're too nasty to address, or how could I have said that? Things like that are coming through. And so what's happening here is you're actually being gifted the power to rewrite those stories, or to even go after these people that you've hurt, if there is not too much of a rift there. Send them more loving energy by apologizing, by helping to fix those things that have been harmed. And for most of you, a majority of you, this is being honest with yourself. You've been dishonest with yourself in terms of what you know to be true about who you really are. So a lot of you have been telling yourselves just untrue things about who you are, and your guides are saying, if you continue to say these things to yourself, this is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you're saying, I'm mean, I'm nasty, I don't even want to repeat some of these things because I don't want to affirm them to you, but I want to bring them up to the surface enough to show you that that's there, so that you can continue and enable yourself to address and heal these things within. Right here we have the card of knowing. It says, he who collects the most knowledge wins the war. So for a lot of you, I'm also hearing that this is grudges that you've been holding, not allowing yourself to forgive, and this is causing certain energetic blockages in the body as well. If you aren't experiencing health symptoms, what this is bringing forward is that if you continue to harbor these energies without giving the people in your life forgiveness, you're going to end up with certain experiences or symptoms of these resentments that are building up in the body. I'm feeling it in the chest. I'm feeling it in stomach, like acid reflux type of things. And for others of you, this is going to be just generally a sense of emotional dread that fills the body, not feeling like you can connect with your emotions in a healthy way. He who collects the most knowledge wins the war. As a shadow, I feel is also saying, it's relating back to these swords cards. It's also showing that for some of you, you're Your experience of going through the underworld is a humbling one, and something that you've been clinging on to as a sense of superiority is knowledge. Oh, my stomach is grumbling. Even though I'm not hungry, I've eaten. So there's something here about, yeah, you just need some energy to move around, and it feels like this sense of ego or this sense of pride in the knowledge is actually covering up a lot of the shame that you're feeling about the mistreatment, or the shame about even, being mean to someone, quote unquote. Well, for some of you it is more literal, but that feeling of guilt that you're maybe even carrying. And for others of you where it's somebody else who was mean to you, you're also carrying that guilt of, if it was a family member, I'm related to this person, they're part of who I am, things like that. So and this card here, this final card, is representing a spirit guide that is with you through through this experience of going through the underworld and through these difficult times of facing certain parts of yourself. So this card is from the Flowers of the Dead Oracle, and this is the Javelina 32. And these cards were from the Akmara Tarot, or Oracle, excuse me. So the Javelina here, argument, power struggle. Yes, you actually may be somebody that connects more with fierce deities if you have done any deity work or explored other religious pantheons. But if you're someone that has a more concise faith, or one that's a bit more reserved for a certain I don't even know what to call them, like a certain deification, or if you don't work with deities at all and you work more just with spirits, this could either be, yes, the spirit of the Javelina itself, the animal spirit, or just these very strong deities. Sorry, I don't know why I'm like tripping over it. It's because I think that there's such a diversity to this group. I'm being drawn in multiple directions, so it's kind of hard for me to bring it all together or be specific in the way that I want to. But argument and power struggle is showing me that these spirit guides of yours are really walking with you through your own struggle that's internal. They're helping you to find a backbone, I want to say, and some strength. They're giving me they almost make me want to like bounce and jump and move my energy physically. And also there's a really strange spacecraft that is outside my window at this time. So some of these guides may show you very strange signs, or if you are resonating with something that's maybe more like extraterrestrial spirit type thing, they may have certain technologies in terms of war or battle or spiritual struggle that they want to share with you to help to empower you and help you to get through some of these denser energies that it's honestly their time to retire is what they're saying. These energies are a little outdated for some of you. Some of you are fighting like 1,000-year-old type energies that just need to be completely washed through you in a very physical way. And so these spirits are helping you to face these challenges, and also to stop arguing in your head with certain people from your past, because I feel like a lot of you, that's maybe what this 8 and 7 of Swords is talking about as well. Having power struggles with certain people in your life that you're carrying around, where like those people have let the resentment go. So it's time to forgive, honestly, for this pile. I want to get you an affirmation before we close out this reading. And I feel so much lighter than I did at the beginning of the reading. There was so much frustration that came up throughout the course of the reading that I was just feeling like I'm helping you to release. So thank you for giving me the honor of helping you go through this shadow work today. And here we have our final 3 affirmations. And will you take a look at that color palette that's going on here? So we've got the solar plexus, that fire chakra, the blue for the throat chakra, the green for the heart chakra, and some brown that may be for that root chakra or the earth star. I honestly associate brown more with the earth star chakra, but these affirmations say, my head and heart communicate freely. I allow my thoughts to engage with my feelings in harmony. For a lot of you, I do feel like you've been very rational for a long time in your life, and so what's happening is that you're actually giving validation to certain feelings that you've been experiencing for some of you decades, and ignoring. So there's a strong energy. Maybe that's why I was feeling the throat at the beginning. Just allowing yourself to cry. I'm feeling like very, almost like on the verge of tears for a lot of you, because there's just this energy of really desperately needing to release what's going on. And I feel that melting down into the heart. So there's, for a lot of you, that practice of dropping into the heart space, doing meditations that are focused on the heart or the throat chakra, even the solar plexus too, to help you release some of this built up rage and frustration that has been dying to come out, is really going to help you to feel healthier and more balanced overall. I am a voice for those whom it's difficult to hear. This is talking about releasing your ancestors from certain burdens and pains that have been embedded into the DNA of your family line for a long time, and all the people I feel that are incarnated, that are connected to your bloodline, have some kind of anger that they need to release. Your spirit guides and ancestors have been really, really working around the clock to help all of you really release. Some of you may have a family history of hypertension, heart disease, things like this that manifest from holding in anger, even throat or esophageal cancers or things like that as well, from holding back, especially in the feminine side. There may be this experience of holding back the true feelings that manifest into certain things in the throat or the lungs. For some of you too, the lungs can represent when we are withholding emotions or suppressing them, not allowing them to flow freely. And here we have, finally, I take time to cleanse my space and surroundings. This is saying that as you release, as you do this shadow work, as you bring up this stuff from the depths, it's really important for you to be engaging in spiritually cleansing rituals. And if you don't necessarily believe in that, this is not a sign to begin to do that unless you feel open to it. But this is showing that there are certain times where allowing yourself to release is really, really important, and only prioritizing letting these things go. And that can be, for some of you, working out, going on a walk, taking a shower, physically doing like smoke cleansing rituals, whether you're burning incense or burning herbs that are respective to your own culture, respective to your practices. Yeah, that's going to be something that I'm seeing is really going to help you open up the heart space, especially since this is where most of the green color is coming from too. So I want to thank you so very much for allowing me to channel for you, Group 1, today. I want to thank you so much for your dedication to your own upliftment, your own path forward, and for just being a spiritual being in this world at this time. I'm so very honored to be a reader. I'm going to send all of that energy back to you, sending so much gratitude to your guides and my guides and all other forces in the universe that made this reading possible today. I will see you in another video, my friend. If you're interested in any of my information, that will be below. So I'll see you another day. Bye, my friend. Hello, Group 2. If you selected this Angelite Sphere egg, this is your reading where we're going to dive into your experience going through the underworld, whatever that means to you. I feel personally that each of us, as we do shadow work, are practicing what it means to go through the spirit world. I also believe that through the wheel of the year, we have these traditions showing where we enter into the underworld. And for me, I always consider that to be as we go from fall to winter back to spring. We bring ourselves through those dark places as a collective so that we may be more in touch and be stronger through these more difficult experiences, as well as find the joy in those lighter moments in life. So this group, I am feeling like your angels, if you do resonate with angels or angelic guides, I feel that they're very strong with you. Even as I'm doing this, I'm looking over to a crystal in my room that I have that's specifically to call on the angels, the celestite or celestine. I've seen it written and spoken in two different ways, but yeah, there's just this energy with your group, like you've done this a couple times. A lot of you may resonate with being some kind of a spiritual healer as well, or doing spiritual work, or you're just somebody that's very interested in elevating your vibration, doing the work for your family especially doing the work for those around you to help them to feel more spiritually guided through life. So, excuse me. Um, yeah, I felt my like energy raise being in your presence. So thank you for being here, Pile 2. I'm actually going to start this reading a different way than I did the first group. And you have 2 cards, but there's one that's stuck on the top, so I'm feeling like I need to address it. Because these cards are representing your shadow, or the shadow that's the most prominent for you at this time while you're doing your shadow work. And we have here the card Wicked, and it says, "One who sows the seeds of hatred will see their children harvest the fruits." So, and I'm actually wanting to read from the guidebook because the guidebook lists a shadow attribute. This is the Okana Oracle. I think I said it the wrong way in the first group, so I'll have to correct that. I know that this is from the spirit element. So again, just emphasizing that those of you who selected this group, you are quite well versed in the spiritual realm. A lot of you, I do feel like, may sense a spirit or commune with your spirit guides quite often, so I just want to affirm that for you. And it says the shadow element for this card is having absolutely no balance between the dark and the light and not striving to. Interesting. So this is almost bringing me to like the yin yang. There's something here about not wanting to see yourself as wicked, and I've never gotten this message when doing shadow readings, but I kind of understand where this is coming from because it's showing that for a lot of you, you're not wanting to face some of the more tricky aspects of spirituality. This can be in terms of like cultural appropriation, or not understanding like the cultural roots or respecting boundaries of people in terms of doing spiritual work. Yeah, there's something here just about also not wanting to see your own shadow. If you have gotten really into healing, there may be, an identification with the love and the light, which is always good, but there's something here about not wanting to recognize yourself as maybe having darker aspects or even having desires that make you want to understand these things like gore, war, horror, things like that. But the thing is that as healers, we need to be well versed with the darker aspects of life so that we can address them and actually bring light to them. And I know I'm using these vague terms like dark and light, but I hope that you're understanding at a heart level what I'm meaning with this, and also showing that we shouldn't have preference between these 2 sides or these polarities, because that is really the lesson of being here in the physical realm and having a spiritual experience through the physical, is helping us to understand the duality or the polarity between our experiences and how they actually round us out and show us that these 2 sides of life, or even these 3 sides, everything, once we master the 2, we are actually able to open up into many other higher dimensions. And so what's happening for you on a soul level is that your soul is wanting to go back down into the underworld to shed your attachment to duality. And so I want to look at the other shadow card because I feel like it's in a different realm of life or something. So this card is Plenty. It says, "A trifle grows where nothing else will sprout." So for a lot of you, some of you, your faith feels like it's been shaken because of your experience going back into the underworld. There's something here about not understanding why you're experiencing certain more challenging experiences and trying to almost spiritually bypass them by not wanting to address how they're making you feel in a negative way. But it's like your spirit guides are wanting to come through and say that there is so much that's available to you, especially in terms of your career or opportunities for you to serve for spirit as well, that are outside of the tradition or the norms. It's just something that you're going to have to really put your faith in. Happenstance, chance, being at the right place at the right time, being open to the opportunity when it's presented to you. And if the opportunity hasn't presented itself to you right now, it means that you're not ready for it, but you will be ready. And when the time comes, because you're at this point of desiring it and wanting to chase after it. And I feel like for a lot of you, if you've already done rounds of shadow work, what that was showing you how to do is access desire, experience pleasure, allow yourself to face your own limitations, so that now you can see the opportunity and the potential in something. And it says a trifle grows where nothing else will sprout. And I keep wanting to go to the guidebook for you. And I happen to know that this card is an earth card. So, I'm passing through the earth suit. Okay. So it says the shadow element is, even though you may have accomplished much in life, your yearning for more wealth, not specific to money, fuels your fire to your own detriment. So a lot of you are almost like blocking your opportunities by feeling that you haven't had enough, feeling like you haven't reached your full potential, things like that. When you affirm things to yourself that are holding you down, holding you back, it's actually creating more of those blocks or those obstacles in your life. And it's kind of funny because I feel like for me, I kind of resonate with this message a little bit too, where it's like not recognizing all of those accomplishments that you already have, all those lives you already touched, all those things that you, like, these skills and these experiences that you've taken on that are actually giving you permission or authority to step into new areas in your life. So it's about really finding your imagination as you head through the underworld, and not allowing any of these negative voices, these temptations to go into lack mentality. I feel like a lot of you have already been fighting this a lot, but this is just showing that this is continuing to be something that you're wanting to address within your own shadow, is this idea of not having enough, or feeling like you haven't done enough, or you aren't enough. And so for a lot of you, that affirmation just simply of I am enough is really going to help you to get through this. So I'm actually going to take these cards now from the Guiding Light Tarot, and these are going to give me an indication of what's going on with your journey through the underworld a little bit deeper. And I will read reversals today, actually, because I feel like they're exactly how they're meant to be. So again, we're seeing this duality. On one side here, we have things upright with this kind of gray, lighter color combination going on, high contrast between dark and light. And over here, we're mimicking the high contrast between dark and light, but it's almost reversed or opposite. So there's just a bit more darkness going on this side, and there's less of a preference for it. So I'm going to say that this is kind of like your light side and your dark side, your light body and your shadow body, your consciousness and your subconsciousness. And it's like you're trying to balance them, because this side is reversed and this side is upright. So you're trying to almost spend time. It's like 1 or 2 days per week, sorry, I'm trying to think about it. So you're at the beginning of your week. It's like Monday and Tuesday, you're in the shadow. Wednesday, Thursday, your energy picks back up. You're back in the light. You're consciously understanding things. You're taking more control. And then Thursday, Friday, you go back into the dark. Saturday, Sunday, going back into the light. That kind of a thing. So it's almost like you're cycling really quickly through these experiences, and it's like 2 days on, 2 days off. So the Ten of Wands here and the Fool are referring to, within the consciousness, feeling burnt out, feeling tired, not wanting to keep up with your spiritual practices in the same way, feeling like your spirituality is changing, questioning things. The Ten of Wands is the end of a cycle, and the Fool is the eternal cycle. So there's 2 cards that have zeros involved, which are numberless numbers. They don't really represent anything, and they also represent everything. So there's something here about your awareness and your wisdom and your understanding wanting to come through to support you through this time where your spirit feels very unstable. And it's also, I think, good if you have been doing or prioritizing self-care, prioritizing being gentle with yourself, and allowing for yourself to something interesting going on. It looks like these wands are all meeting these dark suns. So I would look into the symbolism of the black sun for some of you, or even eclipse energies. We are actually we're right in between two major eclipses this year, as I'm reading this. And so that's partially why I was called into this reading as well. Just understanding what it means when we have to face these two planetary bodies that usually represent light as they cross and illuminate each other's darkness. So yeah, there may be an energy there for you with that. So there's really something about just going with the flow, being able to not lose a beat here with the consciousness too. So for some of you, you really have a dexterous mind. You're somebody that can really think through challenges, and also feel through your emotions heavily too. So just addressing everything with all the energy you can give is definitely helping you get through this and make the most out of these more challenging experiences, especially for some of you if you're going through grief too. I'm just picking up on that for a few of you. There's something here about being able to find a new lease on life, using these more challenging experiences as fuel to help you to understand what Spirit's trying to show you from a soul level, and also from what your higher self is trying to show you. Because I feel like for a few of you, your higher self is stepping in, and it's almost so exciting. It's making me talk very quickly, but it's showing that they're wanting to raise your vibration. They're wanting to elevate you and show you that there is a deeper meaning to what's going on. So definitely some higher selves coming into comfort and to help to ground you and know that there is a journey that's happening right now with that Fool. The Fool is always showing us about sometimes how our humanity limits our perspective of things and limits our ability to understand, wow, this is actually happening for me. This is something that we don't always realize, but the subconscious mind really needs to be the driving force. So getting into your subconscious mind, helping you to elevate your vibration every single day. Sorry, I was laughing at myself for misspeaking. Elevate your vibration every day, helping you to get into that state of meditation, helping you to get into that state of bringing your subconscious forward so that you can really allow yourself to work through and also notice and act in a way that's less controlled so that you can see what's going on a subconscious level. Because for some of you with this grid going on, it's almost like you're trying really, really hard with your conscious mind to keep everything under control, and it's like, I just saw a ladybug fly past my window. Let it go. Release. Allow for the luck to come through. Allow for chance of your own self to surprise yourself, to help you to spontaneously change things, to heal really quickly. So let's go into the subconscious mind, because this is what this reading is all about, as your guides have been showing. And we have the Page of Wands in the reverse and the Judgment in reverse. So interesting energy here, because it's almost like your subconscious almost doesn't want you to know what's going on, which is very interesting. I've never had such resistance in going into channel an aspect of a group of people. But it seems like as I wait and as I'm patient, the subconscious wants to speak more, because it feels overwhelmed by something or someone trying to figure it out. It feels like it wants to just play, to have an opportunity or space made to experience and explore. So for some of you, this is going to be getting yourself out of your comfort zone, planning a spontaneous trip, going and seeing a friend that you don't usually see, but that brings out, maybe even planning this astrologically, either for the timing or based on which friend astrologically lights up maybe the 5th house in your chart. I'm being drawn to for a lot of you, or they have specifically 5th house energy, or maybe even 12th house if you really want to dive in and get deep into that subconscious and help you to transcend some of these experiences, or even activating the 12th house within you. So being strategic in a way that allows your subconscious to take the stage, to play. The Page of Wands is showing that there's a lot of darkness in the mind, that wants to be utilized as a tool for displaying the void. Darkness in Buddhism represents the void state. It represents the infinite space that exists to create, to see what emerges. And that's really what your subconscious is trying to teach you at this time. And that's why this judgment card has so much darkness at the bottom too, and flips it, because it shows that when you get your feet on the ground and you do allow yourself to have those breakthroughs to that point of judgment, that Saturn type energy that comes in and says, look, this is how we're going to continue forward. These are the rules. These are the boundaries. This is what we need to pay for. There's that kind of strict energy of wanting to live up to certain things, to make certain choices, to reach these deadlines. Your subconscious is saying, let's worry about that later. Right now, what we need to do is allow for these experiences to happen so that we may make those calls later, because right now it's almost like you're holding yourself back from actually allowing yourself to observe. And I think that's all that's wanting to be said. It was very concise. So these cards from the Flowers from the Dead Oracle represent animals that are in spirit form, or maybe even in physical form, that are coming up in your life to help to guide you. And we have the fox and the raccoon, and it's very interesting because I was seeing these animals in clairvoyantly while I was explaining where the cards came from. So strange and so cool, but it's also showing me that there's something crafty about this energy, about your guidance at this time. They want you to be clever and strategic again about how to approach this subconscious, because your subconscious almost wants to evade you sometimes, or take you on a little bit of a journey, get you a little triggered, get you a little bit out of your comfort zone so that you can find better stability and comfort within yourself. Because the fox at the end of the day says patience and harmony, wants to bring you back to that balance, wants to help you heal, and wants to help you have a comfortable home life. The fox has a den, a place where they return to, where they can hide away, where they can do their healing, and they also always have a partner to balance them out. So for some of you, this is also going to come through in the form of, like I said, friends, or even for some of you, family members that really help you to balance. Maybe they're at a different age in life that kind of balances you, in terms of maybe you're older and they're younger, or you're younger and they're older. Or if you're more of an in-betweener, maybe there's somebody else who's at a very similar age to you in your family that knows and has kind of gone through the motions with you. But in any way, there's someone here who mirrors you and can help you to really get through this, because they're going through a similar thing. The raccoon, curiosity and exploration, is reminding you again of that Page of Wands. Your subconscious mind, your shadow self that's bringing you through this underworld journey, really wants you to find that there is no preference in life between those experiences of what we consider suffering and what we consider joy or upliftment. So there's some balance that, again, this is what we were talking about with the Wicked card, finding an opportunity to play, finding and looking for opportunities, or even just allowing opportunities to come for us, and not getting too hung up on what we think the opportunity should be or how it should manifest, and just allowing you to be a bit more resourceful with whatever life throws your way, especially as you enter into this next chapter. Because I feel like for a lot of you, even with this Fool coming forward as well, it's just being repeated that there's this part of you that really wants to, instead of being controlled, instead of being structured, wants to really see how your faith can lead you at this time. And yeah, for some of you, also going to the forest might help you to connect to some past life memories that are related to this experience of going through the underworld. So I just want to close this reading real quick with an affirmation to help you integrate this reading. And we have this card that came out right quick. Beautiful. It says, I trust my instincts and seek out my intuitive guidance. When the universe gives me signs, I listen with my heart. And we have a nice indigo blue color and kind of a turquoise blue. So I'm feeling like this is very much the higher chakras. This is helping you to drop out of that thinking mind, that rational mind, and move much more into your spiritual guidance, and to trust that whatever you encounter is really meant for you, and not have preference or kind of try and judge and see where these things fit into a logical or pattern-based understanding of the world. So I'm just going to take this time to send your energy back to you, to thank you so much for dedicating yourself to this spiritual growth today in your path. I am so honored to be alongside you on this journey. I'm sending so much love to you, and also sending gratitude to your guides, my guides, all other forces in the universe that brought this reading together today. I will see you in another video, my friend. All of my links are in the description below if you are interested or curious in my work outside of this. So I will see you in another one. Bye, my friend. Greetings, Group 3. Welcome to your reading as we head into the underworld for you, and help to hopefully connect you to your shadow self and your understanding of what does the underworld mean. And so we're going to dive right into this reading here with your cards. For your group with this green banded onyx, I am just feeling, sorry, my throat's been bothering me a little bit, but I don't think it has to do with your reading. This green banded onyx really helps you to find your strength. A kind of theme throughout this reading today has been finding balance, and I think that this is undoing a lot, like millennia of spiritual information where it was really focused on choosing a side. And so I think something that is unique about your group is that a lot of you don't really have a preference. I feel like you're very consistently connected to the other side, and also very consistently connected to your own darkness. And so there's somewhat of a comfortability here within this energy. And I also wanted to just bring up and maybe even affirm for some of you that you are a witch, or you may self-identify like that. Sorry, I'm like messing with this candle because it's seeming a little dim to me. And a lot of you do know how to reignite the light within others. So you may do a lot of shadow work, or work in a field where you're reigniting someone's heart after painful loss, or you're dealing with loss. Some of you may be in the medical field or something where you're having to deal with certain things related to our mortality quite often. And maybe even not that, maybe you're a grief counselor or something. But there's something here about this group where I just feel like you have a skill when it comes to helping others with their own fear, with their pain, with their grief. And there's a time right now where it feels like you wouldn't expect to, but you're maybe having difficulty dealing with your own pain or your own fear about what's going on in the world. So very interesting energy. And I also feel like for a lot of you, you are very connected to the earth. And I do feel like a lot of you may work with crystals a lot, or plants or herbs. So maybe getting more in touch with how those allies can help you and assist you at this time, because I do feel like for some of you, if you do like work with the Fae or something, they're wanting to bring through this message of being able to work with the spirits of, you know, these things that others might consider inanimate, but you know that they're on a spirit level, they are your supporters. So I'm going to actually start with your tarot cards from the Guiding Light Tarot. I'm going to read with the reversal, and these are going to describe your experience going through the underworld and maybe even connecting with your own shadow. And we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Beautiful card. I feel so much like this resonates with your energy. Regardless of how you feel about gender, this is talking about someone who has a very strong and elaborate inner emotional world, and a strong emotional intelligence as well. You may have been very imaginative from birth, pretty much. Someone who was very able to empathize and pick up on other people's emotions quite easily. It's interesting that they're drawing me back there, because there's something here where you may have always felt some kind of connection to the other side, or you just were very emotionally in touch, and so you didn't realize you were connecting to the other side or to these deeper, darker realms of human experience. But the reason why this is being highlighted is because here we have the Four of Pentacles, which is talking about some kind of stable and physical experience that's being grounded into this moment. And for me, the Four of Pentacles can also talk about a moment of protection. So for some of you, if you've been experiencing more psychic attacks, this is because you are somebody that can hold that light. Usually you're someone that can really find joy in times of darkness, or find the way to heal, find the lesson, find the thing that is the comfort or the grounding thing for others. And you've always been able to do this. And so sometimes certain energies will follow us when we fall us. They're trying to like pull you down sometimes, certain spirits. And I'm not saying this to bring fear into you, and I don't feel any fear rising from you, which is good, but I am feeling a concern. And so what I want to guide you through at this moment is to actually help you, because this card signifies for me, as I said before, a spiritual protector. And so I want to just help to lead you through some kind of little prayer here. And this is not a religious prayer, this is just helping to invoke some kind of spiritual guidance. And just so join me as I do this with you. So please, benevolent spirits that walk with my group 3, will you please surround them in a guiding and loving energy at this time, helping to balance their energy systems, their consciousness points, helping them to be aware of all those things that help to bring them peace, bring them comfort, and help to release any fear and bring in love in its place. Thank you. All our gratitude to you. So, and gratitude to the higher selves of group 3 that can really bring them through this experience and help them to find that spiritual anchor point. I was seeing here too with this card, before I move on, I don't know if any of you have seen Over the Garden Wall. It's something that I really like to watch at this time of year because it just has those good fall vibes. But I'm seeing that woodsman, you know how there's like the spirit of the forest that is kind of like watching over the lantern. And if you haven't seen this, you can maybe look up a synopsis of the show series, or even watch it yourself. I don't know where it's streaming, but there's this like spirit of the lantern that is connected to this woodsman, and the woodsman is basically forced to fuel this darker spirit. I won't try and give too much away because it is kind of one of the main parts of the show, but there are these 2 little boys, Greg and Wirt, and they are the ones who are kind of targeted by the spirit. And that's almost what I felt like with your energy. It's like you're not going to give in to the temptation or this false light, because this spirit is connected to this fire, to this light, but it's a light that's fueled by fear. And so there's something here where you're not giving into a consciousness or a guidance that is trying to pull you towards validating your fear over your sense of love and connection to your own personal divine, or what you consider to be divine in this world. And that's bringing me towards this Hierophant card. And it's mirroring this Queen of Cups. Do you see? They're very similar, but this one's upright. And so this is showing me that you're actually gaining control over that emotional self. You may have grown up with a lot of fear around your spiritual gifts. I know most people do. Just in this time period, we don't have a lot of beliefs that support or validate that. A lot of elders weren't really connected to that, so it's understandable if you didn't have the kind of guidance you would have wanted. But it's showing you that you are your own guidance through this. You can always trust that inner voice, that intuition that you've developed, that no matter what your belief system was, no matter what your circumstances were, no matter what you were perceiving, there was always this part of you that knew how to protect yourself and knew how to discern and understand and go through these certain pathways and make those choices that always kept you safe, and more importantly, helped to bring you towards your purpose and helped you to fulfill these experiences within your life. So the Hierophant is really showing that there is a sense of strength that you can tap into within your own soul that you're finding in the underworld at this point in time. This part of yourself that does not give in to fear and that knows how to bring through different messages that are beyond fear. The Hierophant can sometimes represent these outdated beliefs. The Pope figure. What is more surrounding the Pope then sometimes this sense of fear, this sense of power and control that is corruptive in some ways because of this institution of belief, because of this worldly power. So something that your higher self is wanting to do by bringing you through this experience of the underworld is almost to humble you into a place of remembering what true power is and how to find it within yourself. And that's really what I think that this banded green onyx does for us as well. So definitely, if you are drawn to this crystal and don't have any, I would try and find some. It's relatively inexpensive. So and of course, try and get it ethically sourced as always. But we're going to go deeper into the reading. I've already pulled out so much that I wasn't expecting, but I'm really happy and excited to be doing this for you. So this is from the Okana Oracle. I always want to call it the other deck that's released by this creator, but whatever. This card is representing part of your shadow that has come forth at this time, and this is the card of iron. I believe this is in the earth suit in the deck. And it says, dogs have 4 legs, but only walk one path. And what were we talking about? Being able to make choices and go down a path. So I'm going to read from the guidebook really quick because they do have a shadow attribute. And I'm feeling a really strong pain in my shoulder for some reason, my right shoulder. So I don't know if a lot of you carry a I wanted to call it a saddlebag. I don't know why. Maybe somebody rides horses here, but some kind of a computer bag or something. There's something here about your guides are wanting to let yourself have a rest or lighten your load in some way, and this can be metaphorical or in reality, but take a mental health day or something. I don't know. This rhino is also showing that you're rare, because I'm thinking about how these are an endangered species, the white rhino, and I believe they may have actually gone extinct. So there's something here about treasuring what you have, not wanting to let it go. Interesting. So the shadow element is consistent and unwavering obstinacy is a fault of temperament. It does not help, it harms. Obstinacy, I think, is stubbornness. So for some of you, you're trying to make something work that hasn't been working for you, whatever that may mean. This may be ignoring your gifts. For some of you, ignoring your spiritual calling as well, with that only walk one path. You're really needing to funnel all your resources into one thing, and even the Hierophant goes to one point here. So yeah, it harms. This card is calling for you to take a look at ways you have been staunch in your beliefs, that you have failed to be a good, comprehensive listener, willing to learn new outlooks, practices, or beliefs. Has it been a detriment to your personal growth, relationships, or practice? Have you been led to discover new concepts that you consistently reject, but they continue to nag at you until you relent and open up to the possibilities? So for some of you, you're fighting with certain beliefs that other people are maybe trying to impose on you. And for others, it's wanting to cling too hard to your beliefs. That's what the Hierophant can also symbolize. So there may be certain beliefs that you adopted because of your sensitivity when you were younger, about other people, about your safety, about other people's intentions, things like that, or about who you can let into your life for a lot of you. So there's something here about wanting to break down those barriers a little bit more and allow yourself to be more vulnerable through this process of recovering the shadow. For a lot of you is what I'm hearing. But these cards here, that's really what you're focusing on. Sorry for jumping back and forth, but that's really what your spirit is focusing on through going through this underworld process and uncovering your shadow. As I said before, it's really wanting to get you to acknowledge the ways in which you may have held yourself back. And for some of you, this is in career. Your guides are wanting to maybe point you in a new path, but you're really afraid. And so again, this is talking about releasing fear. So that's a big theme for this group, and self-empowerment. So these 3 cards, you got quite a few. I'm not going to read them in the reverse because that just doesn't make sense to me for this deck. But this is from the Flowers from the Dead Oracle. These are talking about animal spirits or just spirit guides in general that are walking with you through this process. We have the Seahorse, generosity and good luck. Snake, transformation and change. And this is one of the human spirits, fertility and renewal. So For some of you, if you've lost a spouse, this is a spouse that's passed on, or maybe even someone that you dated. If it's not that severe or significant for you, this may be somebody that was very devoted in their relationship, like a grandparent figure or even a parent figure. But this person, I feel, died earlier in life for each of you, or they died before you feel it was their time for them to go. And this person was very soft-spoken in their life, but they're really wanting you to take a risk in your life at this point, while still understanding what makes you feel safe, because this person, I feel, really does help you maintain a level of comfort, a level of safety. This guide really helps, or has helped you in your life for quite a while now, to find and fulfill opportunities that are meant for you, or right for you, especially in your career. For some of you, this person was a nurse, because I'm just seeing a hospital setting over and over, so I don't know why that's coming up. Or maybe they spent a lot of time in the hospital or something, and they don't want you to have to feel restricted or confined like that. So this is a very healing energy. For others of you, if this isn't somebody, it's not resonating that it's someone that you knew that passed on, I'm just getting the energy of Freya very strong, the Norse goddess of fertility, the goddess of the nature, the earth, especially with those antlers there too. So there's something here about these guides are really wanting to help you see how you can develop certain things, or even create new things in your life, because that's really what the darkness allows us to do. Is it allows us to sometimes ferment or bring these nutrients forward as we do nothing. Sometimes the darkness shows us about our ability to relax and to receive as well. And so this guide is really wanting to show you that maybe even though they were more of a feminine energy, they did not understand how to receive and how to really bring and integrate experiences through allowance, through acceptance. And so that's really what the snake is bringing us to as well. Transformation, change. Medicine, again, is a symbol here with the snake. Being able to heal yourself from wounds, and then also to heal others and not inflict these wounds, even though we have enough power to. The seahorse as well is showing that there is a sense of blessings being owed. Not saying that the universe owes you anything, but reminding you that you do have luck on your side, that you have the ability to turn things on their head, because seahorses, they have a pattern that is not typically seen in the world. So again, highlighting your uniqueness, and I mean between their partners, the mates. It's the male who carries the young. So there's something here about being able to allow yourself to bring something new into the form of reality. And so for a lot of you, I'm also being drawn to the fact that this, whether you realize it or not, this experience of the underworld is actually turning you into a creator in some ways, and actually allowing you to enact your creative gifts, because I feel like you can't run away from that path anymore. The Hierophant shows where we are a channel from spirit into the physical world, and I feel that always when we are acting as a creator or as an artist, we're doing spirit's work in that way. So there's something here where you're definitely wanting to become a channel. The snake can also be a symbol of channeling healing energy, channeling the kundalini if you resonate with that, the spine, aligning that energy and allowing you to really strike when the iron's hot. I don't even know what that phrase means, but it must mean that I'm channeling it then. So I'm going to cleanse this a little bit on whatever's left of the incense. Oh, and your affirmations are already popping out. So I'm going to get you an affirmation to close this reading, to help you to integrate. And for some reason, I'm feeling like each one of these cards of guidance want to bring through an affirmation. And the bottom of the deck is to rest and rejuvenate. So definitely take the time to rest intermittently throughout this period when you can, because prioritizing that is really going to make a difference in your life. Listening to yourself, listening to your body, especially pile 3. So the first affirmation here is, I am an important part of my social network. Don't forget how important human connection is, and how much you do have safe connections. If you are having trouble trusting people or relating to that part of you that wants to connect to others, I am an important part of my social network. Very important. I am attractive. Remind yourself that you are an attractive being, that you're someone that can call in anything that you want in whatever form you want it to be. Finding true goals and true happiness and allowing spirit to work with you to co-create is going to help you to attract those things that you need. Also, reminding yourself how beautiful you are, how loving you are, and how special and unique you are is really going to help you become more attractive and attract more of what you want. The third affirmation here is, I move on with ease and comfortable flow. This shows that whatever you may have been clinging to, whatever beliefs you may have been giving credit or validation to, no one says that you have to slowly integrate or change these beliefs. You can change these pretty easily and quickly if you just allow yourself to be carried by the pulse or the current of where life is taking you. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're just really ready to do that. You're really ready to dive in and know that spirit is protecting you and guiding you. So from this point on, really set the intention. I move on with ease and comfortable flow. Yeah, that will really help to heal your sacral, because I feel like for a lot of you, I'm just feeling that sacral chakra energy as I'm closing this reading. So yeah, that is all the messages I'm getting for you, Group 3. Thank you so much for being here, and it is an honor to be alongside you as you do this spiritual work for yourself, sending all this energy back to you so that you may have that strength and that confidence to move forward through this experience of the shadow. I'm sending lots of love to you, thanking your guides and my guides and every other force in the universe that brought us together for this reading. If you're interested in any of my other work, I have information about myself below. Otherwise, I will see you in another reading, my friend. Bye for now.